So I made the mistake of filming a bunch of stuff that doesn't really fit together very well. And in trying to edit the latest video, I figured, you know what, not everything has to be like an hour-long epic thing. So I just wanted to put together this little short video. It's got an interesting arc to it, I think. And if you stay to the end, there's a sneak peek of what's coming up. But for this video, it starts with some unexpected rain. Well, I totally did not expect this rain, and I might be a little bit fucked because I totally left my tent behind today. Alright, well, this is where I left things. So the flaps were kind of open, but not totally. Some what's going on inside. Well, mostly this part right here seems wet. The rest of it maybe not so much. Definitely this corner though got pretty wet. Well, that's not great. So what I would like to do is set up a tarp. I'd like some sort of semi-permanent setup, something a little more elaborate than I usually do. Problem is there's nowhere to really anchor anything. It's just this flat brick wall. And it needs to be secured pretty tightly so that can stand up to winds. So there's definitely going to be wind. I'm looking around for like sticks or whatever, some longer sticks that I might be able to use. I don't really see anything, but there's lots of rocks over here, so maybe I could use that to hold down the tarp. If nothing else, I can just throw the tarp over my tent and call it good, but it's really, I'd rather it be a little more solid than that. I'd rather have it sort of elevated above everything so it doesn't just act like a greenhouse, trap all that stuff in, all the heat and moisture. I already have enough problems with that just with this thin little rain cover. So if I'm gonna, you know, if I could find some bigger sticks, just make kind of a frame for them, that would be nice too. There isn't really any trees around here. There's some over there, and there's just a bunch of bushes. I'm trying to figure something out here. Just found a bunch of crap over here too, which I guess isn't surprising, but I hadn't seen anybody else back here, or any signs even. I guess I just wasn't looking in the right place. Well, I found a few things I might be able to use. I don't really know what the plan is overall, but maybe if I can set up like a tripod over here and get the end pointed all the way down that way. Maybe take the longest piece. I don't know if it's long enough. Not really. Pretty much the longest piece I have is about as long as my tent, so I would rather find something a bit longer. But if I could get that up to there, maybe I could even do it like this. I don't know. I'll keep thinking about it. Well, here's what I came up with. It looks okay, but it's probably not very structurally sound, you know. But this is just some sticks tied together with twine. That metal piece of flashing or whatever it is that I found over here is going over the top. And then same thing on this side. Found a nice sizable log there. That's good. And I ended up making basically 2 tripods because I couldn't make one that was big enough to cover the whole thing. And then this is my tarp flared out to its full size. Honestly, I'm not sure if I should have maybe put it the other way around, because I think put the longest side going this way, but well, I don't know. It's probably fine. I'm gonna get some heavy rocks to put on the edges and kind of make sure it's all a little more taut. And yeah, I guess we'll see. I kind of feel like it looks okay, but as soon as the wind picks up, it's gonna just blow this shit right over. It's possible. Alright, got the weights on the corners, and that's about all I can do for now. So, eerie glow on the horizon. Kind of interesting. But for the grand tour, I guess this is how you enter. And then you got plenty of airspace above, so hopefully airflow will be decent enough. Might even take this rain cover off now that I have shade and everything, but we'll see how it is in the morning, I guess. Yeah, I mean, if it makes it through the night, I guess we'll see how it is in the morning. Alright, well, it's still up. I don't know if it really was that windy last night, but either way, it seems to have worked out pretty well. It did rain a little bit. The only problem I had was so this end of the tent kind of comes down a little too close to the, you can't see it, I would have to get up and show you, but it comes down in a way that like kind of funnels water onto the tent a little bit. So it wasn't a huge deal, but I did start to get a little bit of drippage, so I'll have to just add something on there to keep that part out a little bit so it doesn't funnel water in. I don't know if that made any sense, but yeah, other than that, yeah, I need to dry out my sleeping bag still. It's still wet. It was actually more wet than I thought it was, especially towards the feet. So I have to deal with that. And other than that, seems like I'm good. I'm not sure how sturdy these things actually are. It's kind of, I mean, it's flexing, but it's actually pretty okay. This side's a lot worse. That far pole is a very crooked piece of wood, and it's not very stable. I put rocks around the bottom to hopefully make it a little better. And then the top piece I did not secure very well, I don't think. I just kind of put like one loop of twine around it. But I don't know. As long as it doesn't blow too hard, it should be fine. At least the tripods should be fine. I don't know about the whole thing. Yeah. I'm pretty proud of myself on this one. I think I did an okay job, considering it's literally just whatever I could find laying around. One really annoying thing about this spot is that it's right behind a Lexus dealership. I have to I don't necessarily have to cross the dealership to get there, but I have to go right behind it. And there's a salesman showing somebody around over here right now, so I kind of can't even go where I want to go. I think there's a spot behind here. If I go past and then around, I think there's another way to get in, which might be a little bit better, but I think I saw people there too before, so I don't know. Looks like I can maybe get in this way, but I'm not too sure. Actually, now that I'm here, it looks like there might be a fence in the way. It's just frustrating. I think I'm gonna jump this fence. It'll probably be fine, but like, nobody fucking has the right to claim this land. It does look like my tent got blown over too, so that's great. Okay, interesting. So actually what happened is the tripods are still up. In fact, I don't think the actual tarp got moved at all. Just the rocks that were holding it in place came undone. So everything else is still standing. That's good. It feels a lot drier than it was this morning. Probably actually use that tonight. Okie dokie. Well, it did get a little bit windier today, and it looks like finally got to be too much. So that kind of sucks. But shouldn't be too bad. Just kind of thinking I might try and change things up here a little bit anyway. One side's still standing. Alright, so there's a bunch of rain on the forecast for today, and I've been seeing it for a couple days. I didn't know what it was, but apparently it's a hurricane, or it was a hurricane, and then it got downgraded to a tropical storm that hit LA, I guess. I haven't really seen much about it. It must not have done too much damage, but for me, what I'm worried about is, flooding, I guess, and just making sure that I'm safe. So I'm going back to the tent a little early today to just, I want to be in the tent pretty much the whole time while it's raining. I don't want to have to walk around in the rain, so that's what's going to happen. So this is the river, and if there is flooding, I think there's a lot of other places the river would have to go first before it started infringing on my campsite, and I'm pretty far away from the river itself, so it would have to, first of all flood over this bank, which doesn't look like it's really that close. If you look at this, there's a whole bank there that it would have to flood over, and then it would have to come down this way, and it would have to overflow this little ditch here and then come up to my tent. So I don't really see that happening. I don't think we're even supposed to get that much rain right here in Reno. And other places further south probably got more, but and I've just got my tarp just fully covering my tent with rocks on all sides. It's not the most comfortable way to do it, but it's the most secure. That does lead to issues like heat building up inside the tent, and also humidity. You start to get condensation on the inside, but it's not that bad. You have to make some trade-offs. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait for the rain to start and ride it out inside the tent. Well, I think all the flooding talk was probably not necessary. At the end of the day, that doesn't seem like it was ever going to happen, really. would have had to be a biblical flood. It didn't rain very hard, really. It just rained consistently for, I don't know, like 6 to 8 hours, something like that. And it's going to rain a little bit more today and maybe a little bit more tomorrow, and then it's going to stop, and hopefully everything will dry out. But it went well. Went okay. Well, not only did the rain stop, but it actually, the sun came out. So it's not like some parts of the country where a big rainstorm means it's going to be wet for the next, you know, month. This is really, I mean, I don't really know because I've only been in Reno for like a month or a little more maybe, but it's one of those places where, you know, it's not going to stay wet for very long. The sun's going to come out, it's going to all get dried up. I think that rainstorm was probably pretty big for around here. So I'm gonna go and take the tarp off my tent to let it air out. It is pretty wet in there. Not there, you know, it just gets humid in there because of your body heat and your breath. The moisture in your breath kind of condensates on the inside. Plus, I think the tarp I have is really thin, and while it's waterproof enough to keep the water from like dripping in, I think it does seep in a little bit over time, especially when you have a pool of water that's built up. So yeah, it's not, if it was like a constant rain for like weeks or something like that, I would do things a little differently. I would want there to be some ventilation and stuff. More like the setup I had, but that setup was not enough to withstand the wind, so it's kind of like, you know, I would have to try harder, I guess. But as it is, I think I'm fine. I don't even know if we're going to get any more rain, because the forecast always seems to say we're getting rain and then it doesn't, or it's not as bad as it said. So I think for right now, I'm just going to assume that at least for the rest of the day, we're not going to get any more rain, and I'm going to air out that tent. Alright, I decided to leave this place behind because I'm getting a little too comfortable here. I've settled into a routine, and that routine does not involve many of the things that I know I should be doing, so I'm going to try and sleep in a different place every night for a few nights, see how that strikes me, and then try and get stuff done, be a little more productive, and just ramp up towards just generally being more active, because I've been very, very stationary for the last couple weeks. So yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it for today. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of a shorter one. There's more to come that's going to be very exciting in the next episode. But for now, let me go ahead and thank the donators. I got $20 from Evan. Said, hope this helps, brother. Thank you very much. I got $20 from Brian. No comment. I got $20 from Adam. No comment. I got $20 from Steve. Said, love your content. Keep up the good work. I got $50 from Rodney. That's actually my dad. Thank you very much. And I got $18 from Andrew. I hope you guys are looking forward to the next one.